And welcome into the Tortoise and Hare experience. You just heard the song All I Need Is You by our guest Dan Reed, which you can find on his website, danreed.com. And we are going to talk to him in about a minute or so, but just like every single show, we always like to start off with an experience. We do. And let's talk about the latest experience. Who would like to go first this time?
You go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so
check this out.
My experience, I've been experiencing a little bit of, actually just recently, some frustration. And the frustration that I've been dealing with is, as you know, I interview people, from time to time. Sometimes they're not musicians, sometimes they are.
Sure, right.
And I just came across, I want to say a bad interview, but I mean, and I'm not going to say what it was. If you ever see any of my interviews, they never really look bad. But to me, I just felt like bad because like when you approach someone, you say, hey, I'm going to do this for you. Because that's what I feel. It's like, and this is not to be egotistical or anything. It's like, hey, if I'm going to interview you, guess what? It's going to be good. I'm not just some random guy that just comes off the street. And, I'm not here to attack you or anything. I'm here for two things, to make you look good and to make me look good.
Right.
Because I think that's what a good interviewer should do,
I came here to be attacked. I don't know.
And you will be.
Don't worry.
Okay. Don't worry.
I got dirt on you.
Just get comfortable.
And so, so as I was pulling these people to be interviewed, they were very hesitant for this. And then I got them in, and then even then, I kind of felt like I was a little bit being attacked, just because they were steering it the way they wanted. Like I was trying to ask somebody a question, they're like, I'm not going to answer that, make him ask that, And I was just like, when you're interviewing people, there's a flow, and when you're kind of in the zone and people misdirect you, you get shaken, and I got really frustrated with that. And the thing that frustrated me the most was at the end, they were like, wow, you were great. Those were great questions. That was great, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, if only you guys, just let me do what I do, Exactly. So, and Max, she came in, she could tell that I was still frazzled from it, and I was just, I'm still trying to shake off the frustration, and maybe you can help me, Dan, and how to get just how to shake off frustration, because that's what I'm dealing with.
I guess for me, I go through that daily, but it's always a reminder that we're all the same. That's the best way I get over everything. If I'm frustrated with somebody in front of me in traffic, or a flight is delayed, or anything that can go throughout my daily life, I just realize that we're all experiencing the same frustration. So why let that bother my day? It's so easy to let it go. In fact, it's easier to let it go than to hold on to it. And that's the biggest lesson I've learned. It's just the moment I start feeling that kind of that tension inside, I just remind myself that I can just let this go.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but it works.
Yeah, that's actually something that I learned from you.
Really?
Dan and I have been friends a very long time, and I went through a very, very brutal divorce, and Dan's greatest advice to me was just let it go. Just move on, and and find yourself in your moment. And I took that advice to heart. And being a Reiki practitioner, I work with that energy every day. So my clients, my patients come to me, and I give them that same advice, and I credit it to you all the time.
Well, I always thought you gave the best advice, even through all these last 20 years. But I think when you're in a relationship that can be draining your energy, it's hard to follow one's own good advice sometimes, because you got these blinders on, and you're trying to heal a relationship that you invested time and energy into.
Sure.
As opposed to realizing that it's time to move on. But you're looking great, and you're doing well.
Thanks. Thanks.
Really.
So that was my experience. What was yours?
Well, I've had quite a few experiences.
Well, one at a time. We'll get into the next experience with the next guest.
Well, I'm going to talk about my experience from last night. Last night I was at the House of Blues. One of my bands that I manage, Downtown Attraction, was opening for Steel Panther.
Okay.
And Steel Panther is quite the experience. They are outrageous. The girls that get on stage and just disrobe and do
Fantastic.
the dirtiest things. And of course the guys think this is fantastic. And it is amusing. It is definitely amusing. But at the same time, they are brutalizing these women. And it's, it kills me. It kills me that, that these girls have such low self-esteem that...
Are they getting paid?
No, absolutely not.
If they're getting paid, then that's a different subject.
Right. Then it's like you can...
Yeah, it's part of the plan. It's part of the...
Figure that out in however you do that in your mind. But when you get up there and you know that you're going to take off your clothes, you're going to make out with another girl, you're going to let this guy grind on you, and then call you the worst names in the book and talk about your body and how you're out of shape, it really disturbed me. It really disturbed me. And they're friends of mine, and I'm supporting what they do. As a band, as the camp, as
But you're not supporting what they do.
I'm supporting them as a band, as musicians, because they are phenomenal musicians.
And they got a great sense of humor.
And they do, and you have to know that going in. But I still would love for them to just not be as cruel and hurtful because when these girls get off the stage, they still have to live with those words. So I just would love for them to just, think before, that entertainment part comes out of their mouth,
Yeah.
So,
But do you think that maybe I'm not shifting blame in any direction, but if a person, a human being, is willing to get up there knowing full well that they're going to be degraded in some way or another.
Well, that is their choice.
Is it the band's responsibility to pull back on their, because they're outrageous, like you said? Or is it their job to take advantage of that moment? It's hard to tell.
Certain girls, they know what they're getting into, but there are the ones.
Are you talking about skanks?
Well,
No.
No woman is a skank.
I don't know. I've met a few in my time.
Okay, a dirty hoe, maybe. Skank, not such a nice word. But when some of them, they come in from out of town, they've never experienced this before. They're standing in the front, and they, at first the way they pull them up is, hey, you're, beautiful, come up and dance with us.
So it's a trick almost.
And yes, it becomes a trick. And then they, talk about their weight problem, or, you must be old, or, they smell, or something like that. And they still have to carry those words with them. The other part of, a sexual thing, that's one thing. But when you're talking about somebody's body and they have to go home and look in the mirror, that disturbs me. I don't know. What do you feel?
I wasn't there, so I don't know if these girls were really fat.
Have you seen Steel Panther before?
Never. And I don't think I will ever now because of that.
I'm sorry. Well, no disrespect to Steel Panther and what they do, but
Steel Panther concert isn't necessarily a place to go try to find kindness toward women. It's really it's the whole American culture in a lot of ways, with Honey Boo Boo and Paris Hilton and the Kardashians, and we've kind of set our culture up to judge women by their appearance, and all the diet ads and all this kind of crazy stuff that's going on. I don't know, it just seems like it's par for the course. We're going to get as dark as we possibly can in this culture before we figure out that it's time to go the other direction. Yeah, maybe they're just pushing us to the edge.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think we are dangerously close to falling off that edge. Just, just a little bit more respect, just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not asking them to change their show or what they do, but, when a heavy-set girl gets on the stage, and there are obviously a lot of girls on the stage that are very beautiful, most of them strippers,
awesome.
Just be a little bit kinder in your words. Yeah. That's all I'm asking. That's my experience.
Maybe they're going to hear this, and maybe we can change a few heads.
Yeah.
Right.
Their crowd is very interesting. It's a lot of out-of-towners. It's a lot of the same people from Los Angeles that come every week, and I've been in clubs my whole life. I've experienced that. I experience guys hitting on me. I have never been hit on by more women than I was last night.
Awesome.
Like coming up and fully, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. May I touch your breasts? I was like, where the hell am I? That's how I felt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pass for maybe like a lesbian or something like that. I could see, dude. I could totally see you macking on another chick.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. But you know what?
Some girls are hot.
Every girl, I think, has a little lesbian in them.
They
there's some
probably
girls
should.
there's some girls that like to just even imagine kissing other girls. Straight girls can walk into a place and totally check out another girl and be like, yeah, I could kiss her, but I'm totally straight. You know? So there's that going on.
Yeah.
Let's get into our guest, by the way,
Yeah.
Dan Reed.
I get to talk about my experience?
Yes,
please.
I just was blown away 3 weeks ago that my son, at 8 months old, I was changing his diaper and that he had a hard-on at the age of 8 months old.
God.
So
He's a goer.
we're talking about this stuff. And then I asked my other friends that have sons, and they said, oh, that's typical.
Yes.
I had no idea that was...
Well, it's once it hits the wind.
Really?
The
Is that
air,
what it is?
That's what happens.
I don't know.
He has no control over that.
Anytime I pee, and there's like a little breeze, I'm still soft. So.
Yeah, well,
I was really shocked. I had no
It
idea
changes
that
as you get
starts
older
at
'cause your
such
mind-
a young age.
Right.
It does.
You know what?
It
I would
does.
love to ask you this question. I know a few guys that just got their ladies pregnant, and so they have kids coming on the way. And here's the thing. Not that I fear kids, but I kind of considered them dream killers.
So did I.
Right? And I would love to get your take on this, because now that you do have a kid, I know you probably want to be more home with him and really just be a part of his life, but you're, a rock star, you're a musician, you have to be out and about, tell me about that, whether you can give me some advice that I could, hopefully somebody that's listening that's about to have a kid that's in the scene.
Well, I'm 50 years old now, and when my son was
great.
born, I was 49, and I had given up on the idea of having children. I just thought I was past that era of starting a family. I didn't want to be with a cane at my child's graduation. I just thought that was backwards. And then my girlfriend and we got pregnant by accident.
Always.
I was having a good time with her family on Christmas Eve, had too many Slivovices, and we weren't careful. And come January, she told me she was pregnant. And I basically first asked her if she wanted to keep the child. And she said, absolutely, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't. And I said, well, then if you're going to keep the child, then we're going to raise this child as a family for the rest of our lives, and maybe another one. But at the time, I was terrified, because I've always thought, like you said it very succinctly, as a dream killer, that it would curb my freedom to be able to do what I wanted, to be able to travel when I wanted to. Mm-hmm. But when he took his first breath and we cut the cable, right, and he cried, made a sound for the first time, it shifted all of my fears, it erased them completely. And I would say that to any parent that's out there, especially any father, that it really defines the purpose and what life means. All of a sudden, you are no longer number one, which is tremendously liberating, because your whole life you're spending time figuring out how you're going to pay for your rent and how you're going to feed you and how you're going to be successful. And now all of that shifts into your child's life, and there's this tremendous responsibility, but it's also very freeing that your ego is just deflated completely, and yet you have more to live for at the same time. So that your ego is replaced by a tremendous amount of compassion and caring for this little human being that will only survive and thrive spiritually and physically by your devotion and dedication to that being. So that's a true blessing.
That is true.
In a way, maybe I've been looking at this wrong, but maybe is a kid more of a propellant to make you want to be even more successful?
I think so. I mean, it's done that for me over the last 9 months. It's not just successful, but it's also kind of like, I'm putting money away for him, saving money for them, and trying to make sure the house is in great shape and all the bills are paid a lot more than I used to. I used to be late on everything and just kind of be more flighty with my responsibilities. And then when you have when you have a child, you just make sure everything. I have life insurance now and health insurance. I didn't do that my whole life.
You're like a responsible adult.
Exactly.
Oh, how the wind changes.
I still swear a lot around the house, so he'll grow up around that.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the day when his son comes to me, and
That's gonna be
I
sad.
take him. For, right, I can't wait to take him for his first piercing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to allow piercings?
Yeah.
Well, it's a long story because her son came to me asking he wanted to get piercings, and so I basically pushed
No,
Max
he
to
didn't
like.
push me. He tricked me. Dan Reed tricked me into.
Really? How did I can't remember?
Yes. Somehow he said, Jesse, get her to sign like a little thing in the middle of the night, and then like a little piece of paper that said, if you do this, then I'll allow you to do this.
I didn't say in the middle of the night.
Well, no,
I
but
said just do a trade,
He presented
Trade with
it
your mom.
in the middle of
cool.
the night.
I'll do this. I'll
middle
get
of the
straight
night.
A's if you let me do something like that.
Which, he was straight A's anyway. But
Straight B's then. He had to demote himself.
yeah, he had to demote himself. But,
Goes with the piercing. Yeah.
he comes back with this lip
It was
piercing.
it was.
And,
It was on the side. Yeah.
and he said, you signed this paper. First off, I didn't remember signing this paper. And he said, it was Dan. It was Dan.
Yeah, I took a lot of hits.
And I was like,
That's
oh,
what I
I'm
want.
going to kill him. I'm going to
Yeah.
kill him.
Just remember, when you're taking this young boy for the
Piercing.
piercing, do not, and please, I know it's so in fashion, but you know how they have those piercings, but it's like
Stretching the
Gauges.
ear.
yeah, stretching that
Gauges,
ear.
yeah.
Don't any piercing is fine, just not that, because that's permanent. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I know.
And once you stretch out your ear,
Yeah, it's
and-
gross.
Yeah, and you at 60 years old and you still have that, it's still gonna be a little weird.
In
So
the
be cool.
in the gauging, when it's the smaller one,
No, not even the smaller one. You're still leaving a big hole. You know what I mean?
But it's not that bad.
Well, I'm hoping
I
I'll-
saw a guy the other day who had, the things that go on the pipe.
What kind of pipe are we talking about?
Like
Talking about plumbing here?
yeah,
or-
like plumbing.
Okay.
The O-ring, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, those
that-
metal.
Yeah,
that connect two pipes
He
together,
had
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
and it
and
hung down to his shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
He was trying to hit on me, and I looked at him like, "Are you kidding me? Is there something wrong with you? What am I going to do with you? Am I going to put
You could
my
sing that song
wrists
to him.
in
Do your
there?"
ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro?
You might be able to fix some
Throw 'em
plumbing.
over.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, good times.
I hope
Good
I'm a
times.
father that will be okay with whatever he wants to do. All you can really do is just give him the best advice. And,
Right. Yeah.
But if my son comes to me and wants tattoos and piercings, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to have you be the first one to take him.
Yeah, and it's going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
good.
going to happen.
Good.
My son now has full
He's tatted up.
sleeves and chest and
Really?
pierced everywhere.
Really? Jesse's all
Thanks,
tatted.
Dan.
Yeah,
I didn't say.
It is
Thanks, Dan.
all this man's fault.
That's not true.
All
I
this
I
man's
only
fault.
have one tiny little
Catalyst.
tattoo. Yeah.
But he used it against me because I have tattoos. So
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, well, you have tattoos. Why can't?" And
It's true, though.
And for the audience that doesn't know, my daughter, who
Danny.
is
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
is named after Dan Reed. So,
Awesome.
Great on.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful.
He is.
Yeah,
Hot.
and talented, very talented. so.
yeah. And fucking.
Hey!
about that.
Enough of the hotness.
hot.
Yeah.
Hey man, I have no ties to her whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So you can.
I can say whatever I want, which makes it
Okay,
great.
and now on to
Yeah.
the music.
Now, let's talk- yeah.
about this record.
Signal Fire. Signal
Yeah,
Fire
yeah,
is your latest endeavor.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this process of you and this album. I think I went to your website, danreed.com. I was able to see some videos
Yeah.
from it. And was this the album that you got made through funding from your fans?
From Pledge Music, yeah.
Pledge Music,
It's
that's what-
partially. I would say that what the Pledge Music campaign did is allow us to make videos and promote the record. Hire publicists, radio promotion, and make videos. And it paid for a little bit of tour support for our first tour. The record was recorded and manufactured before we even started the Pledge campaign. We started that in November of last year. So it's kind of like you're working together
Right.
Yeah.
with your supporters, which is great. It's like a Kickstarter program, same thing. But Pledge is based out of the UK.
Okay. You are a very global entity, you know?
I travel a lot for sure.
Yeah, you're like a gypsy or something. Do you have any gypsy in you?
I don't know. I'm half Filipino, a quarter Native American, and a quarter German. So I've always kind of felt like a mutt, so to speak, as far as fitting in anywhere. I was always into sports, but I was also into martial arts and playing music as a kid. So I never felt part of the jock troupe, so to speak, or the socias or anything like that. I was a really good typer when I was in grade school and high school. So all the stoners and all those guys gave me a bad time about being, I don't know what that meant. And I like cooking and stuff like. So it's like I fit in everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And I still feel that way to some degree, especially when it comes to politics and religion and stuff.
If I could say this, my typing is an atrocity.
Really?
Because it's the chicken type.
Oh, you're doing that? Okay.
I do that.
Dude, I got a total great program for you.
Are you like?
No, but I'm still a rock star.
Typing is important,
I'm a
people.
typing rock star.
So let's talk a little bit about where you came from. Let's talk about the Dan Reed Network.
Yeah.
Who I hear are going to be playing.
Yeah, we're doing
soon.
some more shows. Yeah, we played New Year's Eve in Portland, Oregon for our 25th anniversary, so to speak. And it's the first time we'd seen each other as a group in 20 years. So, and it was just great. We had a ball up on stage. We had no idea how the audience was going to react or how we were going to get along. But it was like any kind of tension that had grown over the last 20 years just erased the moment we started rehearsing. And so we said, let's do some more shows. So we're going to do like 4 or 5 in Europe and play in Portland again in November. And also maybe New York. Maybe try to get down to LA as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Time is a very odd thing because you look at something and in the moment you hate it, and it's not until 20 years later that you look back and you forget all the hate, and that hate turns into cherished moments. Tell me about rekindling that. Did you have any fear?
Absolutely. In fact, I never thought we would get together again and play. The band never officially broke up. I just kind of quit the world. We were touring a lot. We just toured with Bon Jovi in '89 all throughout Europe. The next 6 months later, we were on the road with the Stones, playing with them 27 shows throughout Europe. We were on the cover of all these rock magazines, touting us as kind of the next big rock funk thing that was whatever. And I just lost it. I basically didn't see myself living on the road. I became very depressed living in hotels every night. And growing up on a farm in South Dakota was the complete opposite of what I had grown up knowing as what life is supposed to be about. And then I was meeting a lot of my idols as a kid, and some of them were very disappointing as far as what their focus was. It didn't seem to be about music. It seemed more about merchandise and
well, they had kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now I get it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Apologize.
Exactly. So, but I never really, I never badmouth people in the press or mention names of people. I've just always thought, wow, I've been chasing this dream, and it's no better or worse than being a farmer in South Dakota. It's just different, and it's a little bit lonelier, a bit more frantic and hollow in some degrees. So, coming back to music, I found a different reason for writing and recording, and that just seemed to be trying to create some kind of positive energy during the performances, and writing music specifically just all based on soul searching and letting out whatever insights I have and my fears and my sins that I've created in my life, and my apologies for those. So as long as every song is focused on that light, so to speak, then I feel justified in being on the road like I am now and missing my family.
Love is an odd thing to me because you can really love or you can really hate love.
Understood.
And maybe I'm going through a little bit of hating love at the moment.
I've been there too.
I'm very lonely. And I'm still going through. It's been 6 months since I've been out of a relationship that I was in for an extremely long time, and I think I'm still in love with my girlfriend, although I've moved on.
Right.
I'm not dating anybody or anything right now.
Right.
I just need to be by myself. I just have to share that.
But it's kind of like actually an old rabbi told me this when I was living in Jerusalem, that we attract and we get what we envision in our lives. And sometimes when we split up from somebody, we have this kind of, we still are connected to that person. We're angry that it didn't work out. We're hurt by it didn't work out. But then if we don't let that go, there's no space in our heart for somebody else to kind of come and occupy that. And so I've tried to heed those lessons since I've heard that advice. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I have absolutely no connection to my ex.
Is it finally done? It's done?
Absolutely
Really?
done. I never have a thought of.
There's no more court drama. Not. It's all.
Oh, there will always be court drama because
Okay.
he's a thief. But, but other than that, emotionally,
Okay.
any of that, and we were together for a very long time, and 2 kids and all of that. But you get to that point where if you don't just truly live in your moment and escape, all of your trauma and your drama of the past, you cannot move forward. You cannot really enjoy what the time is that we're given. And because, I am who I am and I give advice on the subject, I really want to, be authentic in that and truly let it go. And we're talking a lot of friggin' money too. This isn't like, little beans. Why don't you run off with another girl? Whatever.
Wow.
It's okay.
It's good to hear you say that, though. It's really nice.
Yeah, because he went through, those moments of me wanting to tie him to a track, and yeah.
For sure. I was there.
Yeah, he was there, he experienced it. During this whole time, Dan and I were making a record together, which was coming up for air.
The last album.
Yeah.
How was that, Dan? What's it like working with Max? I work with Max on a completely different level, not intellectually or anything. Just
There is no intellect involved in this program whatsoever.
At all.
There was 2 very different roads to that record
Right.
getting done. One was kind of the financial aspect, which I was dealing a lot with her ex on that aspect.
Well, he had money, right?
Yeah, but he...
No, he had my money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the gray area. There was a lot of just kind of navigating through that relationship and understanding what it is and things not getting paid on time and that stuff, but which she was out of control of. And then there was the spiritual aspect of making the record, which Max was much more in tune with. I mean, we had tons of... I just was going through my old Gmail account, trying to clear out and make some space, and there's a million emails between her and I, just about life and about concepts and the songs and lyrics, and she was always connecting on that level. And then there was the other level of trying to actually get the business aspect of it done, which drug out for quite a while. So it was bittersweet, that whole experience. But I think at the end we came out with a very genuine sounding record. I think the songs that we picked to be on there was great. And Derek Schulman helped with some A&Ring toward the end with a few songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall I have great memories of that whole experience.
And our many, many long nights in the studio and my funny faces.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
It was a good time.
Yeah, you know what? I found interesting for your new album, Signal Fire, that you did it was like a record release party / birthday party.
Yeah.
And what I found very interesting was this was the first time in your life that you ever had a birthday party for yourself.
That's correct.
And it's weird because I'm kind of the same way. I really don't not that I don't like celebrating my birthday, but it's just okay, my birthday, to let everybody know, is December 31st.
Oh, jeez.
So it's I share it with the most awesome day in the world, And so I always felt like I was competing with New Year's Eve when it's well, I just want to just go out and just have fun, you know? I don't want to I don't want to walk into a New Year's Eve party and be yeah, it's New Year's and it's my birthday. It's just hey, it's just New Year's Eve. Yeah. Let me just live my life. That's kind of how I was. But I'm very interested on your take on this.
I think just anybody, I've always had friends that, we all know somebody that throws birthday parties for themselves. And they invite everybody to come over to their house or to a bar to celebrate their birthday. And I've been to many of those parties and I've enjoyed myself tremendously, but I've always felt it was a bit, at least from my point of view, kind of feeding the ego, and I'm in the business of feeding the ego all the time.
Right.
So the last thing I need to do is also put it out there hey, come celebrate the fact that I'm on this planet too, as well as my record, as well as everything else or whatever. So, but the 50th birthday party, it just seemed like, and it was also the exact same time we were going to be releasing the record within a week. So I just figured we'd just, celebrate the fact that I'm still alive after all the damage I've done to my body over the years, and celebrate the record being released. And my son came to the gathering at the beginning of the night, and he was just in awe. He'd never seen so many people taking pictures of him and all that
Right.
stuff. And what was really cool is that nobody posted pictures of him the next day.
Cool.
And I never asked people not to, but I just don't post pictures of my family life online until he says it's okay. I'm going to wait for him to be old enough to decide that. But yeah, it was a really good experience. So maybe I'll do it again when I'm 100,
Yeah.
50 years or
Are
something.
you going to encourage him to get into music?
He's
I mean,
already-
I've seen pictures
Well,
of him
he got a
already playing.
ukulele
Yeah.
for his 6-month birthday, and he's already playing that a lot. He likes to play it as a drum or as a ukulele. So he seems to be musically inclined. I won't steer him in any direction. I'll just try to introduce him to everything
Right.
and see what he likes.
It's a hard thing, when when you're in this business and you know the ups and downs of it.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to encourage them?
Yeah.
Because I do that with my kids because they're both musicians, and for the longest time they didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah,
Anything to do with it. And now, they're both performers.
yeah.
And I'm glad that, I at least encourage them to.
Well, you also know how
learn
to
their-
give them good advice to steer them out of trouble.
Yeah, well, you
been
hoped.
there.
You
Yeah.
hope that, and if they take it, then they do. And they're going to have to learn their own lessons. He's going to have to go through his own dramas. Hopefully they won't be the same dramas as your dramas, but they'll, I can't wait to hear his first song.
We'll see.
And, yeah, I can't wait.
I'll send
it's
you a
gonna-
video. He's already doing a mumble song, so we'll see.
You're like, wait a minute, that was good. I'm just going to rip
Exactly.
off my son.
And if I could recommend, I'll give you a copy of this to take back. The Beat Buds, which is this group here in Los Angeles. The two
A children's
guys.
video or something?
It's a two guys named Johnny Jingles and Matty Maracas, and they do this rock music that's all for children.
Oh, cool.
That is so clever.
Really?
It's so clever.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Thank
so
you.
for the
We
people
could use
out there
that.
who don't know about them, to check out the Beat Buds.
I have to
to
battle
see
with
that.
my girlfriend about Czech versus English stuff.
Yeah.
She's got we got access to a lot of Czech,
Right.
like children's stuff, music and
It's a niche.
cartoons and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is a
Man.
niche.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to introduce as much as I can in English too. So
Yeah, and it's great because some of their songs are about how to say hello in many languages and
That's great.
communicate and respect
to
for
rock
your
music
male.
and stuff?
Yeah, but to
Wow.
rock music,
sounds
not overly rock,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like offensive
not like
to.
It's like soft rock.
But the parents like it as well, so it's like
thrash metal for babies.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah. What I love about
Star.
what I love about that is that these two rock musicians went and did this as a side
Yeah,
gig,
it's a
and
great idea. They probably have children. Probably too,
they
right?
do not.
They don't.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
They're just cashing
Yeah.
in.
is
Well, you know what? I think Matty Maracas might have a child. I'm not sure about that because I know Johnny Jingles,
Okay.
which cracks me up. But
Wanted to know if you were gonna have a birthday for your son. Are you gonna have like a birthday party for him, just with your views on birthday?
Yeah, I'm sure I will, because all of his family, he's got loving grandparents that are just thrilled to have him in the world, and all of our friends got babies as well, so I'm sure we'll have little gatherings with all the little kids get together.
Okay.
Just won't do any clowns. We'll have
Please,
Max
no
come over
clown.
dressed up like the zombie. Yeah, exactly.
that'll set him on a
We'll
good
make it
path right
unique.
away.
It's totally unique.
He'll be pierced by two.
It's really funny though. One thing he doesn't, I don't know if your daughter's this way, but he doesn't react to any kind of volume of when he's doing something that he shouldn't be touching or grabbing. If you go, Joshua, no, and you raise your voice a little bit, he just smiles at you. Nothing stops him.
Yeah.
And we're not parents that are going to be spanking. I'm just not into that concept. But I don't know how we're going to stop him from doing stuff. We just
You're
have
not.
to-
You're not
yeah,
going to
I'm
stop
just going to
him.
let him do
your,
whatever he wants to
Your
do.
mother used to tell me these stories about you that were hysterical. Dan had this like thing where he would like to jump across buildings.
Yeah, that's true.
In
Across
the middle.
alleyways.
Were you Superman?
Yeah,
Something?
I thought I was Spider-Man when I was
Okay.
Like it was kind
Cool.
of parkour, pretty much, is what
It
you
was
were doing.
like parkour, yeah, before I heard of it. I
Yeah.
used to dress up like a ninja when I was 15 years old and try to terrorize the cops in my hometown. And
Cool.
Yeah, I believe there was arrest involved.
yeah, I got arrested eventually when I was 17 once. Yeah, but it took like 3 cop cars and 7 officers on foot, so I felt kind of proud about that.
You know what? If I could say,
It's a legend.
if there's
ninja.
if you haven't made a video yet for one of your songs, I would love that to be
Do
a
the
video of that,
be
like a
so
song
great.
that could like encapsulate that.
I was really into the whole Ninja Spider-Man thing, you know, and this before there was a movie or the
Right.
TV series.
This was
or
comic
anything.
book era, right?
Yeah, comic book era. And then I remember American Ninja, the first ninja movie that really came
Yeah.
out. There was a ninja in a movie called Killer Elite with James Caan.
Oh, right.
There was some ninjas in that, and I remember thinking, that's cool, I want to be a ninja. And I was like 14 when I saw that movie or something. So I used to dress up and try to do that, be a superhero. So if any of my friends were pulled over, like on Main Avenue in Aberdeen, South Dakota by cops, getting tickets for popping wheelies or whatever they were doing, I made these really thick throwing stars in metal shop.
Holy cow.
And while the cop was up talking to giving tickets out, I'd throw throwing stars into the cop car. I was all dressed in black.
Wow.
Nobody knew what a ninja was. So they just said, these guys in black. They thought there was a bunch of us, but they really was only
They're like these Muslims.
yeah, these long before that. God, I would get shot now. Probably get shot.
You definitely would get shot in the back.
What I thought too was cool, speaking of like superheroes and things of that nature, was that you were inducted into the Stormtrooper Legion.
Yeah, that was just
You
recently.
bastard!
I know, I'm so happy about
jealous.
that. Oh, man, that was the best day.
Is that the 501st?
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
That's the Legion to be a part of,
It's
man.
signed by Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So jealous.
So that was some, what do you call it, like Comic-Con basically for Sweden I went to and got to meet, you know, everybody that I've always wanted to meet from Star Wars. It was
Who's
great.
your favorite Star Wars character? Did you have one?
Jeez, there's so many.
Right?
I mean, I guess I've always liked Yoda because he was kind of like the Dalai Lama or Gandhi, but he was a badass with a sword, with a lightsaber. And especially when the newer movies, a lot of people like kind of, you know, talk crap about the new movies, but I like them all. I mean, Jar Jar Binks is like a crazy character to deal with in the first new movie.
Right.
But if you're as a kid, I mean, it's an animated character. Who cares? I mean, I can look past him. But the pod races are insane. It's much better than anything in the first 3 films. So I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons. And Liam Neeson, he's a great Jedi. And in fact, in the new movies, you get to see them, the Jedi class. You know, they're only spoken about in myth in the first 3 movies. In the new movies, they were just like you get to see them in action. I mean, it's priceless.
Especially when you see Yoda.
I know,
Like,
right?
That
He's
was
just jumping around.
Everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
I know, and at the
it's
very-
finally gonna happen.
And at the very end, at the end of the battle, he grabs his cane again and just
Yeah.
feigns like it's so classic. You know?
How do you feel about, you know, the sale and, you know, the new making of, of Star Wars?
George Lucas. I have faith in that he knows what he's doing with that franchise. So if he thinks that, what's the director of Star Trek? This is like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
If I think he'll do a great job. I mean, it'll probably be much more of an action flick than a spiritual flick, but which is what he's doing with Star Wars as well. I mean, Star Trek as well.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking forward to it.
Man, me too.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things, you know, because I do all the Comic-Cons. I sign
Yeah,
with
you
them.
do, yeah.
And
I see your photos all the
yeah,
time.
it's such a strange world, you know, to be a part of that and to hang out with, you know, Daniel Logan, who's Boba Fett.
Yeah, all these
and
actors
of
are
these-
there. I met a
Yeah,
few of them.
these are my friends now,
That's
and
cool.
I seriously spent every day watching Star Wars, you know, because I'm just a huge
You're a
friggin'
geek.
nerd. I am. Yeah, I am crowned queen of the nerds. That's what they call me.
Really,
at.
they do?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I
You don't look like a nerd, but it makes sense.
Well, that's why I'm queen.
Yeah. So, Dan, thank you so much for being on the show,
It's
man.
an honor,
Yeah.
man. It's great.
Yeah, and you're going to be at the Wits End in tomorrow night.
Wednesday the 5th, yeah.
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Amanda Mosher, my good friend, is opening up, or not opening, we're sharing the bill. She's playing at 8 o'clock. So.
And her band's name is Calico.
Calico the Band.
Calico
It's
the
like
Band.
Calico the Kid.
And that's not with Calico Cooper.
No. This is just the
Right.
name of their group now.
Yeah, because I was a little confused.
Well, maybe
at
it
that.
is, though.
Like,
Maybe.
I didn't know.
I don't know the other 2 women that play with her. I don't know their names.
Yeah, Calico.
Is a boy or a girl?
Calico is Alice Cooper's daughter.
So maybe it is.
Could be.
She's about that right age.
Yeah, we'll see.
Actually, one of the girls looks a bit like Alice Cooper.
Really? Makeup?
Ooh, maybe it is that.
But hot.
Yeah, exactly. Like Alice Cooper, but hot. Alice Cooper was hot, wasn't he? Once.
I don't know.
Like 20?
I don't think so.
Never,
No, well,
never.
hey, he was my boss. He's always hot.
He's
He paid my.
He wasn't mine.
He will always remain hot.
danreed.com, that is where you can find him at, and you can socialize with him on Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Go out, get the new album, Signal Fire, highly recommend it.
Yeah,
And
the old one too.
The old one too.
Coming Up for
Air.
Coming Up for
Yeah.
Air. Produced by Max. You can see in the liner notes, you can see Max's name and be like, wow, I listened to her show.
I listen to her show. I go to her
Super geek.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I
And I
see
love
her
Turtle.
Yeah.
Gotta
Just
throw
had
me
to
in
throw
there,
that in.
right? Come on, people.
Yeah.
Thank you again for letting us play all these tracks off Signal Fire. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we leave you now with Last Leaf.
Oh, thanks. That's fun.